How could an anime like Attack on Titan that provides an anti-war, anti-racism message subtly encourage nationalism? I think in a lot of these cases, the central message of the work isn't the issue, but rather the imagery used and how the story portrays certain camps of thought. Seasons 1, 2, and even 3, I think the imagery is pretty clear. Between the opening for Sasageo, My Soldier's Rage, and Our Enemies Are Across the Sea, I feel it's pretty obvious how that imagery could be construed by nationalistic ideologies. The big one, however, is that in Season 4, we have the Jaegerists, who ultimately are in the wrong. Wanting the rumbling to happen and genocide the rest of the population should be considered a bad thing. But it's weird that people try to justify the Jaegerists, who are supposed to be nationalistic fascists. I don't think anyone can deny that, and I think it has to do with how the story does too good of a job of making the Jaegerist movement sympathetic. I think because of how much time the work shows us the subjugation and persecution of the Eldians and that they are under a real threat of genocide themselves, the Jaegerists end up being at best understandable and at worst people agree with them. For example, the alt-right white nationalist idea is that the white identity is being destroyed by multiculturalism and wokeness and that white genocide is being committed against them. I don't think many of us believe that to be true, but when you connect it all together, it makes sense why Attack on Titan would be favored by alt-right groups in internet circles like 4chan. I think this depiction also makes discourse and ideas of nationalism more easily visible and digestible, that it quickly becomes red pill content if you're looking for it, even if it's not the central idea or even the point of the work. When you add on top of that having a main character full of hope being radicalized by the injustices against him and his race and being romanticized as a martyr that makes the ultimate sacrifice for his friends, despite killing 80% of the population, at that point, I think a discussion to have is it a lack of media literacy, or did the work fail in being more clear-cut on what side it's taking because of its emphasis on making many of its dilemmas morally gray? Or both. I'm not even trying to say that if you like Attack on Titan, that makes you a nationalist. What I'm trying to do is clarify that even if the central message of the work is tolerance and acceptance, how the framing and imagery of a story can lead to a subtle encouragement of nationalism, even if it's not the intent of the work.